Hey there, welcome to my channel. What you're about to watch is a recording of a live Q&A call that I do weekly for the students of my course From Zero to Coder in 14 days, where I teach beginners how to start in this world of coding from the very beginning. The course is currently in pre-launch phase, and these live Q&A calls are part of the bonus package for the students that decide to enroll during this pre-launch phase. If you want to know more information about it, check the link in the description. And if you still have any questions, feel free to drop your question in the comments below. The video is quite long. It takes the full 40 minutes of a free Zoom call. And I hope you enjoy it anyway. And if you decide to join the program, I will be waiting for you. Thank you. Okay, so hi everyone.
Hi.
If you are watching the recording, I actually know Diogo, so we prepared for this meeting before, and he's a friend of mine, and we will speak in English. Of course, we speak Portuguese, but for the purpose of the meeting, so that we can share this with all the other that join, this meeting will be in English. So bear with us. It will be a bit strange for us to speak in English. It will be actually, I think, the first time that we will have a meeting in English, but
Yeah.
for the people that because we are recording the meeting for the others, so let's see how this goes. So Diogo, thanks for buying the course. Thanks for joining, and
You're welcome.
This is the first Q&A call of this community.
Yeah. Excited to it.
Yes, thanks. And yeah, basically, let's talk about your expectations for the course. What you want to learn. Have you thought about it? Anything that?
Yeah. Well, I have known you for many years, and I've always been interested in learning how to code. And you seem like a person that knows a lot about it. And I would like really to learn how to code so I could progress in my professional career, maybe become a coder, maybe likewise, maybe in for Android. And I would like to learn how to code and would like to be able to do it with the minimal help possible and the fastest way possible.
Exactly. So that's kind of the goal of this course, is that you achieve this independence as fast as possible. Because in the beginning, when you don't know anything, of course, you can go to YouTube videos, but then there might be a lot of information in the videos that you don't even know the background, because of course the videos are very generic. They don't follow structure, because usually the business model of YouTube is that you watch a video. Oh, okay, the video is nice, but then they sell you the course, right? So the goal is always to give you something for free, and then the goal is to sell the course, because the course actually has some structure. Because if you want to learn coding from YouTube, it's not so easy, because you watch a video, the video might be, let's say, 10-20 minutes, and then you move to another video, and then they repeat a lot of things, because the purpose is for the video is to be engaging. So it cannot be kind of this typical class structure. Okay, one topic, another topic. It's very repetitive, has to be entertaining. So there are other concerns when you are doing a YouTube video. That's why it's not so easy to learn on YouTube. Of course, you can learn on YouTube, but it's not the best platform to learn. You can waste a lot of time on YouTube and you don't progress so much. And of course, other videos, other courses might be good. Many people use them. I use them a lot. But you miss this many times, this community, this possibility of talking to the teacher, because they are, let's say, maybe they are university student teachers that created a course, and then you don't have access to them. And also this community of coders that I want to, this community of learners that I'm trying to build. Of course, the idea is that it grows, and then people help each other trying to solve the problems, maybe in different programming languages, because maybe you are doing it on Android, maybe someone wants to do it on iOS, maybe someone wants to do it on the web. And the idea is to have this shared knowledge also among all of us. And now you want Android, but maybe tomorrow you want something else. So also my idea is that I teach you the fundamentals, that you can easily transport these fundamentals to any programming language. Because maybe if you want to go to Android, you will start with Kotlin. That's the language, that's the standard language of the Android world. It used to be Java. Now it's Kotlin. but anything that you learn in Kotlin, you can transport to Java or any other language. So for you to achieve, this is my opinion right now in 2025 is that the easiest way for you to achieve this independence is that you use AI tools like Grok, ChatGPT, or Gemini, or whatever these conversational tools. When you have a problem, you can ask the AI. The AI will give you answers, maybe even solve the problem for you. But when you are very beginner, you don't understand the answers. There are too many things. They give you a lot of options. You don't understand the options. Because there's a problem with these AI tools is that if your question is very generic, the answer will also be very generic. The more specific you are, the more specific the answer will be. The problem is if you don't have knowledge about coding, you don't even know how to be specific. And this is basically what I will try to teach you, how to leverage AI to try to solve a problem. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I understand it. But in this course, will I learn what will I learn of coding itself, uh, apart from the AI stuff?
Yeah, so the thing is, you will not really learn the AI stuff. I will teach you the coding from scratch. We will solve problems together. But when you are stuck with a problem, when you are at home alone solving something, and you reach a point where you cannot solve the problem, you will have the knowledge to be able to ask AI, Grok or ChatGPT, the problems that you have. And when it answers, you will actually understand the answer. Because if the answer involves code, you will have the skill to understand that code. Because what happens to many people that use AI, they basically ask AI to do the problem. They don't even understand the problem. They just copy paste the problem, ask AI, please solve the problem. The AI says, okay, here is the solution. Maybe it even works, but they don't understand the solution. Maybe they didn't even read the problem, because you don't need to read. You just copy paste. Please solve this problem. Okay, and then it solves the problem. You copy paste. Okay, run. It works fine. But then you don't understand. But this is not learning, right? This is not learning how to code. This is just asking someone. It would be the same as me not knowing how to program. You are a programmer. I have a homework. Okay, Diogo, can you solve this homework? You give me the solution. I give the solution back to the teacher. The solution works. I have a good grade, but I don't understand anything, right? Because you solved the problem. And so this is not the goal, right? The goal is that you use AI to leverage your learning. And we can actually, in this call, I think we have time to go over an example of this so that you really try to understand the possibilities that AI gives you and the complexities that the AI gives you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, then we can even start already now with trying to solve a problem. I will try to choose a problem here. We can start with one that I like to use because you can actually learn a lot of stuff just from this simple problem. We have this problem here. I'll put it here in the chat. Where's the chat here? Chat. So there, I don't know if you are used to Zoom, but the Zoom has an integrated chat. I will put this problem there. And I will actually share my screen to see if we can do this together. So this is the first time that I'm creating a meeting on Zoom. So let's see how this goes. I want to share a window. Share. And let's see if it works. Do you see? Do you see?
Yeah.
Ah, perfect. Okay, so I will try to increase the font. Did it increase the font for you as well?
Yeah. Now I can see it.
Perfect. Okay, then let's assume that you want, so basically just to give a little bit of context, what is this thing? So this is a website called Advent of Code. And basically it's, let's say, a coding challenge that happens in December every year since 2015. And every day you have two coding problems to solve. If you basically, they give you on the first day of December, they give you one problem. If you successfully solve that problem, then it unlocks the second problem, and every day you have two problems. And they increasingly get more difficult. So the one that we will use here is the one from, so if I click here on events at the top, events, and then I scroll to the first one from 2015. I scroll, there's a Christmas tree because of course it's a very, it's a Christmas themed event. If I go to the
Okay.
first one, then we have this problem. And this problem reads like this: Day one, not quite Lisp. So this is kind of a joke. You probably don't understand the joke, but Lisp is a programming language that has a lot of parentheses. That's why some people say that the meaning of Lisp is lots of incredible stupid parentheses, like because it means list
Yeah.
programming, but people do this joke. Not quite Lisp, you will understand, because the problem involves counting parentheses. So it's kind of a joke on the name, on the title of the problem. So it says here, Santa was hoping for a white Christmas, but his weather's machine's snow function is powered by stars, and he's fresh out. To save Christmas, he needs you to collect 50 stars by December 25th. So basically this Advent, I don't know, I mean, this is for religious people, Catholic people. The Advent is the first, it's very popular here in Germany to celebrate the Advent. Each Sunday of December is Advent. So the first Sunday of December is the first Advent, and then you light a candle. And then the second Sunday of December, you light another candle. So it's a second Advent. And then the fourth Advent
Okay.
would be Christmas. So for the audience, me and Diogo, we are from Portugal. There is not such a strong cultural thing about this Advent, even though Portugal is a very Catholic country, but it's very strong here in Germany to celebrate this. And they sell the candles everywhere during December. And then collect stars by helping Santa solve puzzles. Two puzzles will be made available on each day in the Advent calendar. The second puzzle is unlocked when you complete the first. Each puzzle grants 1 star. Good luck. Basically, this was what I was saying. This is just introducing the whole topic.
Okay.
It's just an introduction that they mentioned that every day is 2 puzzles. If you are able to solve one, it unlocks the other. Here's an easy puzzle to warm you up. So this, of course, the first puzzle, quite simple. But of course, if you don't know anything about coding, even such a simple problem, you will not understand anything about how to do this. Santa is trying to deliver presents in a large apartment building, but he cannot find the right floor. The directions he got are a little confusing. He starts on the ground floor, floor 0, and then follows the instructions one character at a time. An opening parenthesis means he should go up 1 floor, and a closing parenthesis means he should go down 1 floor. The apartment building is very tall, and the basement is very deep. He will never find the top or bottom floors. So this is something that is very common in this whole coding challenges world, is that they basically paint the problem with something that is completely irrelevant. So we don't care that it's Santa trying to go up an elevator. It's just a story, right? So one of the first skills that you need to acquire as a programmer is to be able to read the requirements and be able to extract what you actually need to do to fulfill those requirements. And this is true in these coding challenges or in real life, in a real scenario with a product manager and a big team, because you need to understand what the product wants. You need to understand how to transform what product wants into code that delivers the solution that product wants, right? So this skill is really important. So being a programmer, or let's call it a software engineer, is much more than just coding. So of course you can code for fun, just to solve these problems. That's also one of my goals with my course, that if you don't want to become a professional, which in this case it's not your case, you actually want to do a career transition. But some people might buy this course because they just want to code for fun, just like people play chess for fun without even thinking about competing, right? I also play chess on my phone, but I don't have any kind of aspirations to one day compete in a tournament. So you might also want to learn coding just because you want to know in December, oh, December is coming. I want to have the skill to solve some of these advent of code challenges, right? Just for fun, because you know that you can entertain yourself. Some people play video games, some people code, right? Um, but this, to go back at this problem, so you need to have the skill, and this develops over time, of course, to quickly read the requirements and to be able to extract exactly what you need to do. Any doubts until now?
No.
Okay. Then an opening parenthesis. Okay, I read this already. And then they have the example. So one opening parenthesis, another open, close, and open, close, both result in floor 0. Because of course, if you get one opening, you increase the number. Another one, you closing, you decrease, so you get back to 0. You increase 1, and then you get back to 0.
Yeah.
So what we want to do here, it doesn't matter if it's Santa or if it's the Queen of Naboo or Yoda or Skywalker. It doesn't matter. We have some input. We need to process this input character by character. And if we see that it's an opening parenthesis, somewhere we need to increase the number that we currently have. So it starts at 0, so it becomes 1. And then if it's an opening parenthesis again, we increase to 2, and basically that's it. And if it's a closing one, then we decrease the value. And here are a few examples to illustrate basically what I just said. So if it's opening, closing, and closing, opening, both result in floor -1, because of course, if it's opening, it's 1, and then 0, and then -1.
Yeah.
And if it's closing, open, then it starts at 0, so -1, -2, and then it increases -1 again. And then the question is, to what floor do the instructions take Santa? The only way for us to be able to solve this problem with this platform is to have an account. That's why they say to play, please identify yourself via one of these services. You can use GitHub. It's something that you probably don't know, but it's a tool that it's very common, and we will definitely create a GitHub account to be able to share code between each other. And also in our community, we'll have a shared GitHub repository. You might not know what a repository is, but you will learn it. But of course, if you have a Google account, which most people do, you can log in with Google and you can solve it with Google. So in my case, I could create an account here to see the input. I can try to log in with Google. Let's see what happens. Okay. So now it says here, to begin, get your puzzle input. So if I click here, well, I will actually, okay, it opened in a new tab. Are you seeing the parentheses?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So basically we have a file that is up here at the top bar. I should hide never. At the top bar, we have this input. So basically, it's an input to text file. We have all these parentheses, right? So in the programming world, any sequence of characters, independently of the characters that are there, it's called a string. So basically, every time that you hear a string, it's just a sequence of characters. It doesn't matter which kind of characters are there. So basically, it's a string of parentheses. So how can we solve this, right? So first, we need to choose the first step, choose the programming language that we want to use to solve this problem. In our case, because you mentioned that you want to somehow eventually gravitate towards Android, then in this course, something that we will do is use Kotlin as the programming language. We might use others, other languages, so that you also can compare language to language. But what we will do is use Kotlin for sure, because you are the first buyer of the course. So of course I will respect that's actually the purpose of the pre-launch, is that we kind of choose the languages that people want, and then we focus on those, like 2 or 3 languages. And of course, once the videos are recorded, whoever comes after, they have to learn whatever languages are already recorded, right? Because I will not re-record the videos just because someone now joined and they want to learn another language. And this is actually a good test for my course, because even if they learn from my course, they should very easily learn any programming language. That's why in the advertising of my course, I don't focus on a specific programming language, because I want this course to be very flexible. So now what do we do? You have zero clue how to solve this problem. So we want to ask AI to solve it for us. Let's see what would happen if I would ask Grok. I will use Grok. You can use ChatGPT, doesn't matter. I will use grok.x.com. If you prefer ChatGPT, we can also use ChatGPT, even though I don't use ChatGPT, but it could also be an interesting exercise to ask this. So let's use this. I will try to copy the URL, and let's see what happens if I do this. Can you solve the problem described in this URL? And then I paste the link. And then it starts solving the problem. It feels like magic. It's unbelievable how powerful AI is. And this is why education has to change. Because even kids nowadays, the teachers themselves don't need to create the homework. They can ask the AI to generate homework for the students. So there is, let's say, very little effort from the part of the teacher. So the teacher uses AI to generate homework, and the students use AI to solve the homework, right? So basically you have AI is doing everything. So you don't have, the teachers don't need to do anything, and the students don't have to do anything. So that's not our goal here. Our goal is to leverage AI, is to really understand what the AI is saying, and try to learn from what the AI says. So let's see what Grok says. I will increase the text a little bit. So let's solve the problem described at URL, which is day 1 of Advent of Code 2015, title not quite Lisp. The problem involves helping Santa navigate floors in an apartment building based on a sequence of instructions with 2 parts to solve. So you see already from here that Grok is able to extract the title of the problem and somehow understand the topic. So we have the problem description. Santa starts on ground floor, blah, blah, blah. We saw this already. And it's interesting because it already knows, because it's probably searched the internet. It already knows what part 2 is. So for us, it's not even unlocked, but Grok already knows what is the second upcoming part of the problem, right? Because it was trained,
Okay.
it was trained on data from the internet, and this is quite old. So it already knows how to solve the first part, but already knows what is the second part, because when it was trained, the model was trained with information that already exists. So it already knows the first part and the second part. So it actually gives us both solutions, right? It gives us the solution, and this is already a problem, right? You just want to solve one problem, you ask the AI to give you a solution, and it already complicates the problem a lot because it gives you the solution to the first part, also to the second part, and also gives you the solution in Python. Why? Because when you use an AI tool like ChatGPT, or this what's called an LLM, so a large language model, when you use these LLM-based AIs, you have to be very specific with the question. The more generic you are, the more generic the solution is. In our case, we just said solve this problem, and we didn't specify which language, right? So it decided to use Python, but now we need to tell it that we want to solve with Kotlin and only part 1, right? So let's scroll to the end. Can you solve only part 1 with Kotlin? So now we are getting more specific, right? And because now we are more specific, the answer is also more specific. So now we don't have part 2, which makes the code much easier because it's less code, and it's also in Kotlin. So now let's solve part 1, blah, 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 and Kotlin solution for part 1. And then we have a solution here. And it's quite interesting to compare, and of course you can do this at home yourself when you are practicing, compare the solution of Kotlin with the solution of Python. And we can do this in this call so that you really see the similarities between two completely different programming languages. And then it also explains, right? So, and this is a good thing about AI, it also explains the code. But if you don't know anything about code, there's already a question here. What do I do with this code? Yeah, okay, I have the code, but how can I run it, right? So in order for you to run this code, you need what's called, first you need a text editor where you can actually copy this code inside the a file that you can save. And then you need what's called a compiler, or in case of Python, an interpreter. I will explain the difference in a second. You need to transform this code into a language that the computer understands, because the computer does not understand Kotlin code. So there's this concept of compiler that translates the language Kotlin into, let's say, ones and zeros, right? So it's basically the binary language that the computer understands. And in the case of Python, because Python is not a compiled language, it's an interpreted language, this process does not happen to the whole file, it happens line by line. So each line is translated one at a time. Every time that it executes, it's translated to machine code. And so most programming languages, and this is where we start analyzing the code. I will increase the font size a little bit. Most programming languages have this concept of main function. So we see here fun. Fun is how you identify, oh, the meeting will end in 10 minutes, but it's fine. I can give you already, it says here, need more time. Zoom Pro provides unlimited meetings and more. I don't want to upgrade now. But it's okay. No problem. I can, in 10 minutes, I can give you some ideas already for you to play around. So fun is what identifies in Kotlin that something is what's called a function. So if you have any kind of mathematical background, the concept of function. Of course, I know that Diogo is a mechanical engineer, so of course he has a very strong mathematical background. So the concept of function is not alien to him, but of course, even if you don't have any kind of mathematical background, the basic mathematics that you learn at school, you know what the function is, right? So if you want to add two numbers, 1 plus 2, this plus is the function that given two numbers returns you the sum of both numbers. So 1 plus 1, you give the 1, you give the another 1, and then it adds and returns 2. So, and this will also use this in all programming languages. So this is how we identify that this main is a function. And then this parenthesis is where you will pass what's called the parameters. And then you delimit with these braces, you delimit the scope of this function. So you can see the same here, fun, find final floor. And then here you see that between the parentheses, there's a parameter. So you already have this contrast. Here you have nothing. And here you have a parameter called instructions that is of type string. This is a topic for another call. And this is also the return value that we'll also discuss in another call. And then you have the brace again that opens and closes, right? So whatever is inside is the scope of that function. And if we scroll up to the Python solution, we see that is somewhat similar, but instead of fun, we see def. Basically, it's a definition. But then you have the name again, and then you have in parentheses, you have the instructions. But in this case, you don't say that it's a string, right? So this is something that we can also discuss, the difference between statically typed languages and dynamically typed languages. It's something that you will also learn. So there are a lot of concepts in the beginning. You don't need to stress about it. We will repeat them over and over because they will be part of you in any kind of program that you solve. You will keep seeing these things all the time. So we don't have much time left for this call. Is there anything that you want to ask me until now, Diogo?
No, I understood everything you were telling me, and I kind of saw the similarities between Kotlin and Python. Actually, I learned a little bit of programming in college, and I'm more used to Python than Kotlin. Kotlin has a lot of different names. Python, because I think I learned it a little bit. I could see a little bit more of what the language was doing, other than Kotlin.
Yes, once you understand the differences, it will be very very simple for you to understand. So what we can do just before we finish the call is to copy paste these two things, and I can try to open the Kotlin website because I think they have an interpreter inside here. Can you see this? Why Kotlin? Okay, perfect. What I will do is I will delete this code that they have. I will copy paste the code that we just used and run it. Click here, run. And then says final floor is 0. So if I switch this to some parentheses, oops, sorry, here. If I do this, if I run it, it should show what?
4.
Exactly.
4th floor.
Final floor is 4, right? So if we go here to our parentheses, we select all, right click, we cannot select, but I can do Control A to select everything, Control C. If you are on a Mac, it's Command C. And then I go to the Kotlin here, and inside this string here, I copy paste this huge string, right? So if I scroll, it's a gigantic string. You see that like the scroll bar is here at the bottom, like it's gigantic. I run it. And it says final floor is 138. If I copy paste this into here and I put my answer, are you seeing here this answer?
Yeah.
Okay, 138, submit. That's the right answer. You are 1 gold star closer to powering the weather machine, right? So
Okay.
Even though we don't have a compiler, we like installed on our machine, we can use like a web-based version just to run a simple example,
Okay.
right? So I think the call will finish quite soon. I will stop sharing. It says here remaining meeting time 4 minutes. So we can wrap up
Okay.
this meeting. So was this meeting helpful for you to have kind of an idea about things? It was
Yeah,
a bit
yeah.
rushed, of course, because we don't have so much time. And of course, it's not the purpose. It's not really the purpose of this meeting to
Really learn how to program. Yeah.
yes, exactly right. This is a questions and answers meeting, but because of course I already know you, so there's not so much discussion because I mean we talk every day, but for the purpose of using the time as useful as
Okay.
as much as possible, it's also good to give you an example also because the recording will be there for the others and they can also have somehow a feeling of the style of how I want to approach things. I think it
Okay.
can be helpful, right? So anything else that you want to talk
No,
about?
I think I'm looking forward to start learning and to really give it a go. Yeah.
Okay, then my suggestion to you is to kind of go through everything that we did in this Q&A call. You have the link. You can try to solve it yourself because you will have a different input. So each person after they log in. So if you type 138 in your problem, it will not tell you that it's the correct answer, or quite
Okay.
probably, right? So you have a different input. It generates a different input for you. So you also have the chance to try it yourself, also with the help of Grok or ChatGPT or wherever you want to use it.
Okay.
You can use your preferred AI tool because basically for these kind of things, they are almost all the same. Yeah, I think that's it.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for joining. Right now, it's just you in the program. So of course, we have a lot of flexibility when we can do these calls. But once we have more students, then we have to more or less align on a time
Okay.
that fits everyone. And of course, it might happen that there's a huge time zone difference. So that will also be a challenge. But I will try to maybe collect questions before and then answer the questions so that people that
Okay.
cannot join, for example, if you cannot join, then I would know in
Yeah, I can
advance,
see
right?
the video later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I would know in advance the questions that you have. I would answer in the call. I would record everything so that it becomes even more useful, right? Otherwise, you say, "Oh, I can never attend the calls. It's really annoying." But then you can at least get some value because you can
Yeah.
pre-submit your questions that I can do the best I can to answer them.
Okay.
Okay, that's it. Then I will stop the recording, see how all this thing works. I have no idea. This will probably generate a file somewhere. I need to find it and I need to upload it to the community. And then you just need to go to the community and check the call.
Okay.
I will try to understand how everything works, but try to keep up with the community and see what's being posted there. In case you didn't do it yet, go to the community and introduce yourself. I created a post already.
No, I already did it.
You did it. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Then thanks a lot and have a nice
Bye.
evening. Bye.
Bye.